beautiful twin flames, and welcome back to Tarot for You 444. Today I've got a really exciting reading for you. I may even put urgent on the on the tag, because there's some energy that needs to be shifted from the dynamic of the twin flame. Really interesting that we have the Eight of Wands coming out straight away. I'm using the Tarot of Sexual Magic today, and I'm also using this special deck which I got internationally. So that's also gonna be very interesting as well. What I want you to understand here right now is we're looking at a situation of defensiveness coming from the masculine, because the divine feminine is wanting to do some boundaries here. So I'm just going to leave that card there for a minute, and we're going to get clarification. A lot of you will understand what I'm talking about if you've been in separation or semi-separation. So if you're if you're in a bit of a love story that's going haywire at the moment with your twin flame, it's because, and there goes my throat chakra, because the divine masculine doesn't really want me to tell you this information today. So this is kind of secret squirrel business, but it may accelerate. And look at that. There he is, kind of going, I want to hide what you're saying. Let me just bring that forward a little bit. I want to hide this news from the divine feminine. I don't want her to know. So I find that really interesting here, that the divine masculine is trying to stop me from doing this reading a little bit. I'm going to have to put that there so you can see me shuffling, but it's all because the divine feminine has gotten to a point where she's making boundaries, and then she's questioning whether or not she's being too solidified with those boundaries. But the problem in the twin flame journey, and I'll let the cards speak for all of this in a moment, but the problem with the twin flame journey is that if you don't have any boundaries, there's no learning curve for either the feminine or the masculine. Wow. So I've got my cool mini tarot here. Look how tiny it is in my hand. I want to pull a card from here. I'm going to continue doing each of these three decks so we can get a broader perspective as we go through. So bear with me, because this deck is really tiny. And instead of shuffling it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to spread it out in front here, so you can kind of see. And I'm just going to pick three cards that I'm guided to. So I've got one, teeny tiny, two, whoop, and three. So I'll just pop them out of the road over there, and then we'll have a little look at these ones. Okay, so the Page of Cups, this is your divine masculine offering maybe an apology, but more likely a little offering. I can't give you the world right now, but I can give you a little bit of me. But he's also at the same time being this kind of King of Swords, where, well, it's going to be on my terms. This is a no fucks given energy, excuse my language. But the divine feminine is not entertaining that. And here she is showing up as the Queen of Cups, going, I've got my back to you right now, divine masculine. I need a little bit more than that. There may have been a truce, or there may have been some kind of talk about, we need to discuss something. You know, the divine feminine may have said, you know, you need to follow through with XYZ. And then he's being defiant here, which is an interesting energy considering he was kind of willing to have this realization that he loves her and all of this stuff. But let's continue on with the story for the collective. I'm still doing personal readings, so if you want to get in contact with me regarding those, just follow the description box below, and my email will be there. I accept PayPal for all of my services, and I also do one-on-one coaching or counseling depending on what you need. So just FYI, while I'm shuffling a little bit here, this will be my last major shuffle, and then we can just keep pulling cards and we're ready to go. Okay, so if we notice in this card here, it's getting a bit dreary, this castle. This ideal that we had of the twin flame journey as the divine feminine, you know, was a fantasy idea in the beginning for many of you, and you know, it's kind of dreary now, like it's kind of lost its luster. And with the Knight of Chalices here, which is the Knight of Cups, you know, in his soul space, he's still hanging around. So maybe you take time for yourself, you know, maybe when you're bathing, or maybe when you're laying in bed, or, you know, looking at the stars, or doing some kind of form of self-care, you feel his presence with you, and you understand that the divine masculine can be all of those things if he so chooses to. So the big block that's coming up right now for twin flames is that the divine masculine is putting little to no effort into the connection. And the divine feminine is seeing that and going, well, I know I deserve more. Like, I've done all this work on myself. I've turned my back. I've, you know, focused on myself. I understand this is a soul connection, not a physical connection. But if there's no boundaries, and we'll get to that in a moment because the cards will bring that through. If there's no boundaries, it's going to go haywire. So we have the High Priestess here, and this is all about, you know, secrets and knowledge and understanding that if we don't delve into what we really need, if we don't understand ourselves enough, then how can we portray this to our counterpart? So if you're still in separation with your divine masculine, it's because you're still learning, you've still got things to do, you still are getting to know who you are. And here we have the ship in reverse, or in reverse or upside down, however you want to say it. You know, there's no travel to you right now. You know, if they're stuck across the water, or they're, you know, seemingly intermittent with their communication, it's because, you know, there's still some block here. So a lot of you have come through in your spirituality. A lot of you have come through and said, you know, I deserve better. And this card is a great card for self-reflection here. You know, I'll spend time with my cat. I'll spend time in the garden. I'll do that project, or that yoga, or that contemplation, or that meditation, or that whatever it is. And I love how this card, you know, you can see her studying here in this card. She's got a book. You're learning so much about yourself, and you're also learning a lot about the behaviors of your twin flame. And some of those behaviors of your twin flame have not been up to standard. There's no flowers being given here. Or maybe there was, but it doesn't, maybe there's words but no action. Or maybe there's, the actions and the words don't align is what's coming through right now. So we have in this card the Four of Cups. And the Four of Cups is all about, now that I have you, or now that we're at least on speaking terms, or, even if we're not lovers yet in the 3D, there's this boredom. You notice how we've got this couple here, and she's looking away and he's looking away. And the bird's up in the corner going, oh, this is weird. They finally have got one another, or they finally have the opportunity to get one another, and they're more focused on what's going on here. So maybe he's more focused on his medical study, or on his taxes, or on his family, and she's going, I can't believe I can't believe that you're not giving me the attention. Here she is in a red dress. If you've ever seen The Matrix, the woman in the red dress catches everyone's eye who watches that film. But the red dress is also seduction. The divine feminine is very beautiful. How can you look away? And yet he is looking away. Very interesting energy. He's looking away. Many of you have called him out on some behavior and he's looking away. He doesn't know how to save face with you. He doesn't know what to say to make it better. And the divine feminine sees the immaturity coming from him, but also knows she needs to nurture her inner child. So it's very interesting, this whole scenario of, I could be the one for you. Here I am as the Queen of Pentacles. Here I am sitting on my throne, let's say. Not that we want to be an ego in any kind of way, but you're stable to the point of, that you could, if you chose to, you could kind of choose a lot of different people. Like there's options for you. And, you don't understand why he's not serving you. You don't understand why there's certain blocks. Like, he says he's going to contact me on Friday night, and I sit and wait by the telephone and he doesn't come. Or he said he was going to travel to come and see me, and then, all of a sudden there was an excuse because his family needed him. He still needs to do more groundwork, and that's why he's at the foot of the feminine here. To have a proper communication, he needs to be at her level. He needs to bring his head up to her head so they can have a real conversation. And this is what's being missed out on here in the twin flame journey. There's no conversation happening. There's a missed opportunity for romance here. And it's a real shame because we have the Ten of Wands. And although in this card the Ten of Wands, sees them doing this amazing position, they're so lustful for each other that it's going, like it's cray-cray, like he hasn't even bothered to take his pants fully down. He's been so infatuated with her. But the Ten of Wands is also this energy of, it has to be a quickie because I've got so much going on in my life. You're just an option in my life right now. And I really hate using that word option, but everyone has, and I've spoken to a friend of mine about this many, many times, everyone has the same 24 hours in their day. And how someone rearranges or arranges their 24 hours is entirely up to them. Are they available to you? Or are they just, getting in quickly and then leaving again? The divine feminine is getting older. And for many of you, you've been on this journey for years. So today's reading, and I'm going to get 3 more little cards from this mini tarot. You know, many of you are at a point in your life where you need this guy here. You need your counterpart. You need your King of Cups to come, because you are being the Queen of Cups. You are ready for someone to share your life with. You don't want to jump off a cliff with someone. You know, you don't want to do this bungee jumping anymore. You don't want to just take a risk. You know, this guy here literally packed up his troubles in his old kit bag, grabbed his dog, and off he goes. You know, and that's, of course, that sounds like a great adventure, but the Divine Feminine is looking for something more grounded than that. And many of you are getting these excuses. Here we have the Ten of Wands again. This is the same card as this one here. The Ten of Wands here is the Divine Masculine giving you all of these excuses. Well, I couldn't call you because I was working, or I couldn't, you know, I couldn't change that thing around because my family needed me there, or whatever it is. And it's this continual suspension of time. You know, it's like we're suspended in time. So we'll continue on now with the story. So the Divine Feminine, you know, we have the Stork here. She wants good news to be bared to her from her masculine. You know, enough already with the, you know, let's just be adventurous and see where this goes. Let's just be nonchalant and not organize any of this. She's at a point now where she needs to know, and here we have the Seven of Pentacles, she needs to know that they're going to grow something together. You know, I want to share a fridge with you. I want to share a life with you. I want to share our religion together, or our spirituality together. I want to blanket us in this love, knowing that we are each other's counterpart. And down the bottom here, you know, are the candles that have been burned, you know, all night long while they've been making love, or all night long while they've been talking, or all night long while they've been, you know, trying to work out their future together. And this is purity, the white representing purity. I want to come together with you in purity. For some of you, that means that you would like to be married first, or for some of you, it means that you would at least like some form of commitment. You know, it's time for the masculine to do some form of commitment here, because the feminine deserves that. She is the queen. We have this pause, this long pause, 4 weeks or more, 4 weeks or more of a pause where, you know, the divine masculine has been intermittent, or the divine feminine was intermittent. There was no real coming in or knowing when it was going, you know, when communication was going to happen. There was no boundary setting. There was no, you know, on Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 5 p.m, let's talk, honey, you know. And this is the problem, because the divine feminine, she doesn't know when he's coming and going. And this card is very great for representing that. And I love how it came up in the reverse, because, you know, is he leaving? Is he leaving forever? Is he, you know, staying with his wife or partner? Am I going to be his wife or partner? This is such a questionable card. And yet he still has his back to us in this card. You know, he's not offering any solutions here. He's not saying, I'm trying to do X, Y, and Z. He might have given you a few little clues, but he's holding his communication very close to himself here in his little boat. This could be his idea of what he wants in the future, or this could be his current circumstances right now with his, with his wife or with his partner or whoever he's dealing with. 2 cards now. We have this broken-hearted energy for the last 3 weeks, at least, for the divine feminine. She kind of wants to go, where do I go from here? Tell me, where do I go from here? I thought you'd take me through the years. And where do I go from here? She's questioning it. Where do I go from here? What do I do now? I'm confused. I've been confused for a really long time. I want to stay feminine. I want to stay nurturing. I want to stay loving. But if you give me confusing energies, then how do I go, where do I go from here? So there's a questionable time for the twin flames right now, because where do we go from here? We have the 9 of Wands. The 9 of Wands here. Very interesting card, the 9 of Wands. Look how much is going on in the background. There's another man, there's another bird, there's animals everywhere, there's them 2 talking, but he looks disheveled, right? She's ready to sit and nurture him, but he looks disheveled. He's also questioning, for many of you, he's questioning whether you have a flame for someone else, or whether there's another man, take gender how it resonates, that has a flame for you. Very interesting here. Are you holding a candle for someone else? Are you interested in someone else? Have you lost faith in this connection? Have you lost faith in this connection? He's questioning it too. There's a whole lot of questions that have come up here for the twin flames. Thoroughly interesting reading. And then we have the Ace of Wands, and look how much he loves you, but he's still wondering if you have another flame. Is there someone else you're interested in? Have you, has Elvis left the building? You know what I mean? He's like, he feels like you could be infatuated with somebody else, even though you might be trying to be present with him. He feels like something else is happening here, and he can't quite work it out, which is for many of you the reason why he's being distant, if he's being distant with you or weird. And the next card is this circus. This is a very strange card. I've said it's one of the strangest cards I've ever seen, and it's this, if you go to a fair or a show or something like that and you see a weird ride or a weird, a hall of mirrors or a ghost something, or it's just this weirdness that's going on in the twin flame journey right now. And on one hand, the divine feminine is trying to put down her boundaries. She might have even written it in the recent past in a text message, or I doubt anyone's penning letters these days, but it's a definite communication by the feminine here. An angelic communication coming from her to say, look, she's even sealed it with, it's from her, from the royalty of divine feminine. Look, I want to tell you what's on my mind. I want to tell you what's on my heart. Are you going to listen to me? This is what I need to happen from now on. And she brings this 4 of Wands energy with her. You know, I'd let you do anything to me or with me if you would just understand me. The 3D physical reality aspect of me. I find it very interesting here that we have the flame on the ground. The flame is on the ground, the torch is on the ground. And he seems to be in another world altogether. Like, even though he's supposedly making love with her, he seems to be elsewhere. And this is a feeling that many of you have been telling me about, is that you feel like your divine masculine isn't quite there anymore. Where has he gone? Where has he gone? You know, he's off with the fairies somewhere else. Let's get 4 cards from the mini tarot here. You know, he's acting as though he's bored. He's trying to manifest all of these things. Like, maybe in communications with you, he's like, well, I'm trying to manifest this new job, and I'm trying to help my family get through this time, and I'm trying to, you know, do all of these things. And he's being very forthright in everything else. But yet with you, he's acting some kind of way. And it's toxic because, you know, yes, you are chained together, but the actions and the wording that comes between you both shouldn't be toxic. And the divine feminine is wondering, like, how can he be so excited about his new career and yet not contact me or not come through with his words with me? I don't understand it. Because if he loved me, and there's that word, the L word, if he loved me, wouldn't he show me? Wouldn't he bring that to justice? Wouldn't he bring that to fruition with his truth? And, you know, this is a huge card for communication. The Ace of Swords. Wow. I mean, this is literally like, just put it all on the table, buddy. Tell me what you need. I'll tell you what I need. Let's communicate thoroughly and properly. Again, she doesn't want this energy of, let's just be fools. Let's just run around and have sex with one another, or, you know, be friends with benefits, or, you know, start a project and never finish it, or, you know, there needs to be more than that. She doesn't want this whole friends with benefits situation. This year, I've been watching Game of Thrones, and I'd never seen it before. And I decided to watch it because I thought, well, you know, I've got a Game of Thrones tarot deck, and it's, you know, I should really know what the pictures are about. And I find it very interesting that Daenerys, you know, the dragon mother or the dragon queen, is all about, you know, this no fucks given attitude where she will wait for the right guy. You know, she knows what it's like to be with a yucky guy. She knows what it's like to be treated like shit, and she won't have it anymore. And I know we don't all have dragons that can blow fire on people. That's probably a good thing, because there'd be a lot of roasting going on. But she knows she's waiting for her King of Wands. I want a creative king. I want a king that's going to travel to me and want me, travel with me on this journey. Ooh, excuse me. Wow, bless me in a good way. That is amazing that she knows finally what she wants. You know, he needs to be sexy. He needs to be creative. He needs to follow me and come with me on this journey. Right? She She wants him to be the emperor, but not the arrogant emperor that's also full of himself with the, with the King of Swords energy. Right now, he's being immature. He's not offering very much. We have the Page of Cups here, and then we also have the Page of Wands. These are small energies that he's showing up as, you know. These are small energies. These are energies where someone hasn't got their shit together yet. You know, oh, maybe we could go to the movies on a date. But I have to help my family all this week, so maybe we could do it some other time, right? Or, hi, I've been really busy with work this week. Might be able to catch you up. Wow, throat chakra going crazy. Might be able to travel to your place mid-October, you know. There's a lot of excuses going on. Wow, my throat chakra really just went crazy just then. I'm going to put the cards back in these two red decks now while I sort my throat out. Wow, oh wow. This always happens when I channel the masculine. He wants to say something. He didn't want me to tell you that you need to have boundaries. Doesn't like that idea. That's not what he wanted me to tell you. Whoops. So I'm just going to shuffle these decks again. I've put all the cards back. And then we're going to hear from him. We're going to hear from him directly now for the collective. You need to be solid with your boundaries while also being nurturing and feminine. That's a really hard thing to do. That means that you have to detach somewhat emotionally to still be kind and say, you know, I know you said you were going to contact me last week, but then you didn't. How can we bridge this gap between us? Might be a way you could speak to your masculine without saying, I'm leaving because I'm unhappy and you're a prick. You know what I mean? You want to bring the feminine nurturing energy, but you also want to tell them that, you know, hey, just letting you know, I work 9 to 5, let's say, and I'm only available at these times. And, you know, for us to really connect and work, I need us to be communicating regularly. Or if you say you're going to be here, please be here on time. You know what I mean? You kind of have to call them out, but you have to do it with some kind of nurturing aspect as well. And I know a lot of you are going to say, why should I mollycoddle this guy that's should have his stuff together? And it's, again, because you're leading the journey. The divine feminine's always leading the journey. Again, this excuses card. I'm so busy right now. We could have a quickie though, right? I'm so busy right now. This is straight out of the you know, words of the masculine. But you're so beautiful. You're so beautiful. You know, like, he might try and railroad you a little bit where you say you want to bring up this topic of communication, or you want to bring up this topic of, you know, non-commitment, or whatever the topic is for you. And then he railroads you and says, oh, you're so pretty and I miss you so much. And, you know, oh, I can't talk right now because, you know, I had this weird dream last night and you were in it, or, you know what I mean? So it's this projection of other things to try and take you off of your topic that you want to talk about. So 9 of Cups, yes, he still loves you, but he's acting very immaturely. He's still a child in his 3D behaviors. What else have we got? This came up in reverse. The King of Cups in reverse. Yeah, I'm not quite there yet. I'm only the Knight. I'm not the King of Cups yet. He knows you need a King of Cups. But for whatever reason, he can't bring you those flowers right now. Maybe he doesn't have a job. Maybe he doesn't have the motivation. Maybe he doesn't have the wherewithal. Maybe he is entertaining another woman. For some of you, that's true. For about 15% of you, your divine masculine is talking to another woman. You know, a lot of you believe that your masculine, when he says he's busy, is actually busy. For some of them, they have someone else. And that's a really hard thing to hear. That's a really hard thing to hear, but that's the truth for 15% of you. So if you haven't written that communication to your divine masculine yet to tell them what you need in this relationship, situationship, whatever this is for you between you and your masculine, friendship, it might just be a friendship as it stands now. You need to do that. You need to say, for this to work, I need us to, 1, regularly communicate. 2, for you to not be with other women. 3, for, us to be completely honest with each other. 4, for, you know what I mean? It's probably not a conversation you want to be writing. You would probably want to have that conversation in person. Otherwise, you may emasculate him. The 7 of Swords here, really interesting energy. He already feels like he's lost his armor with you. He already feels, like I said, the word disheveled. He's not quite himself at the moment, and he doesn't know how to bring it back. He doesn't know how to bring this new, stalks represent new birth, rebirth. He doesn't know how to rebirth this energy. And then we have the 2 of Wands here. The 2 of Wands, how can we look at the future when, you're stuck in that country and I don't have a job, or you're married or I'm married, or, we had that fight last week, or whatever it is, how do we get through that? It's this weirdness. And there are secrets here that he hasn't told you. So you need to get on the same page with your masculine. You need to be real with him and say, look, I know that you're busy. You have a job, you work 40 hours a week, or you don't have a job and you're looking for a job, or your mother always needs you there, or your brothers and your sisters are always there, or whatever it is. But divine feminine, the point here is that you also are busy. You also perhaps have a family. You also perhaps have responsibility that you need to get to. And what's really important is that he understands that you both have the same 24 hours in the day. If he made the effort and you made the effort, look at this beautiful setting here. This is, coming together. Come together, talk, share food together, This is harmony, this is bliss, this is how it's supposed to be. But you both have to try. You both have to try. And with the 6 of Cups here, a lot of you are contemplating being with a soulmate instead of your twin flame, because even though a soulmate isn't your twin flame, the soulmate is giving you far more than your twin flame is. So a lot of you are settling right now for your soulmate or for your current married partner or whoever that is. But if you're divine masculine, even if you've decided to go with a soulmate instead of your twin flame, if your divine masculine doesn't know what your boundaries are, how can he fix them? Okay. So here we have the Empress. You need to sit on that throne, right? Not be above him in any kind of way, but you need to say, look, I am Daenerys of Targaryen, and I have dragons. No, I'm joking. But you need to tell him that for this to work, for this to continue, even if it's just a friendship, you know, there can't be any more whippings. There can't be any more breadcrumbs. There can't be any more ghosting. There can't be any more arguing. This is a card of being punished. And unless you're into BDSM, most people don't like being punished, because that's how the feminine feels. I feel like when you don't communicate with me that you're punishing me in some kind of way. I don't like feeling punished. I feel like when you say you're going to show up at that time and then you don't, that is disrespectful to me. And yes, your masculine wants to be dominant. Yes, he wants to be in control. That's the masculine's role. But he needs to do that in a respectful way, because you are never going to respect your masculine when he is playing with your emotions the way he has been. You know, this is the feminine here. You know, the communication has either been shitty or hurtful or boundary breaking, or these are the communications she's wished for and they haven't happened, and she feels like a part of her is dying every day. That's how it can feel on the twin flame journey, and yet he's still here offering not much at all. I'll try and talk to you after my big meeting, but I might be too tired. I might need to go to bed. And it's not enough for her. Really interesting here, we have the Three of Swords energy. This is the heartbreak of the feminine. The heartbreak of the feminine, you know, it's like she's slowly watching herself in this fantasy. You know, this is the 3D version of the feminine watching what could be in this fantasy with her masculine. And yet he's not showing up. He's being sly like a fox right now. Yeah. Next week after that meeting, we'll definitely contact you. Yeah, sure. We'll get together. No worries. Interesting, isn't it? The fox is here. You need to call him out on that behavior, but be calm. Be loving. Say, hey, look, I know you're busy with work. I know you've got that thing with your family. I know all of that, but I need us to communicate on Monday, Wednesdays and Fridays at 5 p.m. or on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 3 p.m. or whatever it is. I need us to work this to make it happen. And if you can't do that, here she is as the Queen of Wands. If you can't do that, I will take my flame elsewhere. I will take my flame elsewhere. Not necessarily, she wouldn't necessarily say that. I love how she's railroaded this conversation. This was supposed to be what the masculine wanted to say, but she's railroaded it here. You know, you're as cold as ice. You're willing to sacrifice our love. You're as cold as ice. Interesting. 6 is a very harmonious number, and although you could look at the perspective of this polar bear is in its natural element having a really great experience, but the polar bear is alone. And this is how she feels. She feels alone. He's being cold. And he has been cold, and he knows he's been cold. And she knows that he's got something better. Let's check out the bottom of the decks here after I reshuffled them. Wow. And there it fell down. It was that weird I'm not going to pick it up now, but it's that weird. It was that weird card. Oh, sorry, I don't know why I'm showing you that one. It fell. It was that weird card where the two big mouths were, you know, like at the fair. You know, it's this weirdness that's going on right now. This weirdness. Walk away from the weirdness. Here she is, Queen of Pentacles, you know. You need to come up to my level, Divine Masculine. Right now you're down in the gutter. And if you had another perspective, you could say, well, he's groveling at her feet. But really, we're not trying to do that. We're not trying to make anyone grovel at our feet. We want to be on the same level as the masculine so that you can communicate. You can't communicate with him while he's down there. We could take that in forms of energy. The divine feminine is trying to ascend to her best ability. Yes, you may have gotten angry. Yes, you may have lost your shit with your masculine because he is being so difficult. But you also understand that he needs to come up to some kind of level so that you can communicate with him. This off-balance energy that continues, you know, you kind of want to do this with this card. You know, he's always juggling something. For some of them, they're juggling another woman, like I said. But he's always juggling something, you know, oh, my money's not right, or my family's not right, or my, you know, I've got that thing on and I have to go. I can't miss it. And so there they are, missing out on the warmth of being inside that chapel there. Both feeling broken, both feeling alone. And yet if they just come together and work together, this whole mess could be cleared up. But there has to be boundaries. No more excuses, Divine Masculine. I'm so busy with that project, I couldn't possibly meet you until next year. I couldn't possibly, you know, whatever it is. 10 different excuses here. Right? So he's put himself in the hanged man position for a really long time. You know, he's trying to work on himself, or he's trying to work on his family, or he's trying to work on this thing. But it never, you notice how in this card he's on his own. It never involves the feminine, not lately anyway. And like I said, she's willing to hold a flame for someone else now. She's willing to walk away because she can't keep being sad all the time. Like, it's not a natural state of being for anyone. Or maybe he's sad. Let's get one more from this deck. We have the Page of Swords in reverse. You know, I haven't been communicating properly. Been checking out your social media and liking your posts and spying on you and doing all of that stuff, but I haven't really been doing much communication at all. And the feminine kind of goes, it's just not enough. Like, you know, we're getting older. We've been doing this for a long time. This ain't my first rodeo. We've been doing this rodeo for a while. You know, she kind of wants to say, you know, country road, take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home, country road. You know, she's been away from home for so long, and of course her masculine is her home. It's time to come together. We need to come together. We need to be together. We need to feel our way through this together. If you need help with XYZ, I will help you. If you need advice, I will help you. If I need advice, you can help me. We can be a team. There is no I in team, Divine Masculine. This is what he needs to hear today. This is what you need to hear today. There must be boundaries in the twin flame journey when we get to the coming together of the 3D versions of ourselves, because otherwise you will be waiting forever. And there's no use waiting forever and ever and ever and ever and ever if nothing ever happens in the 3D reality, right? How long can you wait? How many years have you already waited? Maybe you could comment that down below in the description box. This has been a really kind of serious reading, but this is what's going on for the collective right now that are in separation. Remember, if you need me, my details are down below in the description box. You can come to me for coaching, counseling, readings, and I have my packages available as well. Right now, we're going to come back into a better vibration, a not so annoyed vibration, and we're going to sing Joyful, Joyful together before we go. But just remember, Divine Masculine, if you're watching today, oh, it fell down. The Divine Feminine has got other options here. There are other men, take gender how it resonates, there are other potential partners for her in this lifetime that are not her twin flame. Alrighty, so let's go. Joyful, joyful Lord, we adore you. God of glory, God of light. Hearts unfold like flowers before him. By the way, what have you done for him lately? Ooh, 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 yeah. What have you done for him lately? Ooh, 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 yeah. Ready? Joyful, joyful Lord, we adore you. God of glory, God of light. Hearts unfold like flowers before him. Do, 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 do. Come and join the chorus, the my chorus. La, 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 la. Woo! Joyful, joyful Lord, we adore you. God of glory, God of light. Hearts unfold like flowers before you. Do, 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 do. Alrighty, I love you all so much. Have a beautiful day, night, afternoon, evening, or morning, wherever you are in the world. Remember, Divine Feminine, self-care. Self-care, 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 self-care. Ignore the masculine until you want to have a real conversation with him. Set down your boundaries. If you need help to do this, you can contact me. And just know that all of my payments I accept through PayPal, and all of my communications will be always on WhatsApp. So if you need to, know that in advance, you can know that now. Thank you so much for joining me here at Tarot for You 444. I will try and post, 2 to 3 times a week so that we can keep in the loop. If you need anything else, if you want a personal reading, remember I am a psychic medium. I can delve into your situation, past, present, future, and I can give you the heads up on what's on its way, so that you can navigate this journey a little bit more easily. Have a beautiful day, everyone, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.